A rainy Friday afternoon, everyone. We hope you're keeping warm and safe wherever you are. As always, we keep you company in the next hour as we bring you the day's latest stories. I'm Denise Tan. Welcome to Afternoon Delight. Alright, magandang hapon pong muli sa inyong lahat. Wala po ang aking partner ngayon na si Lourdes de Vera. Hindi natin alam, napaaga ba ang bakasyon o kung nasan man siya. But we will now be joined by, of course, the co-anchor of the big story, Miss Pauline Verzosa.
Hi,
welcome back.
Denise. Oo, welcome back sa akin.
And belated happy birthday!
Oh, thank you. Oo. Nasa ano na tayo? 30s?
Hindi naman halata, hindi naman
30s
halata.
na ba? Kailangan na magseryoso. Oo, pero today, Tita Denise, no, nagulat ng lahat kasi umulan. Since this morning, since madaling araw, biglang bumuhos ang ulan. And as usual, pag umuulan, anong kasunod?
Ay, syempre, walang kamatayang traffic. Oo. But hindi pa nga yan, hindi pa nga mas severe na problema yan kumpara sa mga hinaharap ng ating mga kababayan in the past couple of weeks. Of course, some areas are again flooded because of the bad weather. And again, this comes amid all these discussions about yung mga flood control projects o yung mga ghost projects nga na
Substandard, di ba?
Pangulo pa ang nakakita, di ba?
Oo, pati ni Senator Ping Lacson, yung there's now a standard for substandard, and it's just so poetic to see this, right, di ba? Before eyes, nangyayari ito, yung mga pagbabaha. Speaking of pagbaha, yan, sa Manila City, as usual, sa Taft Avenue, UN Avenue, ankle deep na po yung baha. May mga class suspensions na rin, so sana mag-ingat po tayo lahat, And sinabi actually ng DOH, kahit sila mismo sabi, pag walang baha, walang leptospirosis. So talagang nagsisimula yan sa flood mitigation. But aside from leptospirosis, ano ba yung sinabi ni Senator J.V. Ejercito, may bagong disease na rin sa gobyerno. At yun ay ang kleptospirosis.
Ganon? Bago ba? Bago ba ang decision?
Oo nga, no?
Sabihin ko sana mamaya makakausap natin si Mary Mon and she'll be giving us an update sa sitwasyon sa Taft. Akala ko kanina na sinabi mong poetic dun sa privilege speech ni Senator Lacson. Meron kasi siya mga umaaray na ang mga taga-arayat. Wow na wow. Yung mga ganon, na hello Darcy. Ang dami siyang naisingit, Pero grabe yung revelation, yung mga ipinakita ni Senator Lacson again about those flood control projects, some of which are non-existent. At yung nakikita natin, pare-parehas yung budget.
Yung costing ng mga contractor. At syempre nakakagalit, diba? As a citizen, because those are the taxpayers' money. Sinabi rin kahit kagabi ni former DPWH Secretary Babe Singson, ang kapal-kapal na mukha ng mga contractor na to. So, but of course, syempre, investigasyon naman ito, So, hopefully, people will speak up. Hindi naman agad hinahatulan, pero kung may alam sila, they better step forward and really expose what's happening kasi it's about time that people also, get what they're paying for sa kanilang taxes. Ang hirap naman, di ba, nakikita nyo, nalulunod na yung mga tao, nasisira yung kanilang mga bahay, and yet, meron pa rin, patuloy pa rin itong korupsyon pagdating sa flood control.
Singit ko lang mabilis, before we start with our stories. Julie Baiza, one of our mobile journalists, binanggit niya nung isang araw na paalala lang, yung website na sumbong sa Pangulo, pwedeng anonymous. So kung kayo po ay may nakikitang anomalya sa inyong mga distrito, sa inyong mga lugar, pwede nyo namang i-report yan para maimbestigahan din.
Oo. Kung non-existent ba yan, kung nakikita yung mga nakapaskil na project na dyan na bilyon-bilyon yung cost, pero wala pang ni sementong nakikita. So ito nga, this is the website. And those are some of the flood control projects that was listed already. So it's been about a week na rin, since itong website ni President Marcos. And we've yet to see next week, magkakaroon ulit ng session in Senate on Tuesday. So titingnan din natin kasi may ibang mga senador din who will be delivering their manifestations on this.
All right, okay. Meantime, Tropical Depression Isang has made landfall over Kasiguran, Aurora this morning. Let's get the latest on Isang from Pag-asa weather forecaster Lian Loreto. Miss Lian, thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, Miss Pauline and Miss Denise at sa lahat po ng ating mga taga-subaybay. So ito nga po si Tropical Depression Isang ay nasa vicinity na po ng Manila, Quirino. At ngayon po meron na po siyang lakas na hangin na aabot sa 55 kilometers per hour at bugso ng hangin na aabot sa 90 kilometers per hour. At dahil nga dito sa kanyang lakas ng hangin ay nakataas po yung wind signal number 1 dito sa may Cagayan, Isabela, Quirino, Nueva Vizcaya, Apayao, Kalinga, Abra sa Mountain Province, Ifugao, Benguet, Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, La Union, Pangasinan, Aurora at sa northern portion din po ng Nueva Ecija. At dahil nga po dito sa ating Tropical Depression Ising, yung ito po'y tutumbukin ang northern at central Luzon area, kaya mag-ingat po tayo sa ating mga kababayan dahil maaari pong umabot hanggang 100 to 200 millimeters ang mga pag-ulan, especially dyan sa may western section ng Luzon, particular na po dito sa may La Union, Pangasinan, sa may Benguet din po, Quirino, Nueva Vizcaya, Aurora, pati na rin sa may Zambales at Bataan. Abot din naman ng 50 to 100 millimeters ang mga pag-ulan dito sa Metro Manila. Nakatumbas po yan ng 4 hanggang 8 timba ng tubig na ibinuhos sa 1 meter squared na area. So dito rin po sa may Central Luzon, Calabarzon, Mimaropa at sa Camarines Norte at Camarines Sur, asahan po natin ang maulan na panahon na yun nga po maaabot din po sa 50 to 100 millimeters ang kanilang pag-ulan. Sa kabila po niyan, meron din po tayong binabatayang southwest monsoon o habagat at ito'y makakaapekto dito po sa may areas ng Mimaropa, kabilang na din po dito sa Calabarzon area and kaya western sections po ng Visayas and Mindanao. Kaya mataas po yung tsansa ng mga pagbaha at pagguho ng lupa at pero kahit nakalabas na nga po itong Tropical Depression Isang, probably po bukas po ng 8 a.m. Bukas po ng umaga sa ating Philippine Area of Responsibility ay magpapatuloy pa rin po ang mga pag-ulan dahil po dito sa Southwest Monsoon. At yun lamang po ang latest galing dito sa Pag-asa Weather Forecasting Center. Ito po si Lian Loreto.
Lian, oo. So itong ulan na, as you pointed out, 50 to 100 millimeter at marami-rami yan. Kasi since this morning nga lang, yung bumuhos yung ulan, bumaha na agad sa ilang mga cities dito sa Metro Manila. Ito ba ay dahil kay Isang o sa habagat?
So dito sa Metro Manila dahil po ito kay Isang, no. At yun nga po dito sa Metro Manila dahil urbanized area tayo, wala po tayo gaano mga puno na maaaring sumipsip po dito sa dalang ulan nitong si Isang ay mataas talaga yung chance na tataas yung mga level ng tubig natin sa mga urbanized areas.
Mm-hmm. At next week, ano naman ang weather forecast? So tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang pag-ulan ngayong weekend.
Yes po, hanggang sa Sabado dito sa Luzon area ay tuloy-tuloy po ang ating mga pag-ulan pero earliest po by Sunday habang itong binabaybay po nitong si Tropical Depression Isang ang West Philippine Sea ay posible pong mag-improve na ang ating weather conditions. Pero yung mga nasa western sections ng ating bansa, asahan pa rin po natin ang maulap at maulan na panahon dahil sa habagat.
Ms. Lian, after ba si Isang, meron pa ba tayong expected na pumasok within the Philippine Area of Responsibility? May iba pa bang binabantayan?
Sa ngayon po meron po tayong cloud cluster sa may southern Philippines po yan. At ngayon low chance naman po ito na mag-develop pero dahil nga po sa mga kaulapan na dala nitong cloud clusters nga po ay posible po itong makaapekto sa may eastern sections ng Mindanao, particular na po dito sa Davao. Bukas po yan at habang itong cloud clusters ay tataas po, posible din pong maapektuhan ang eastern Visayas by Sunday.
Alright, maraming salamat para sa update na yan. That was Pag-asa Weather Forecaster Lian Loreto.
And as we said earlier, the bad weather comes just as discussions on flood control projects heat up some more. One development is former Public Works Secretary Babe Singson saying no to the government's offer to take on DPWH again. Here's a report.
Former Public Works Secretary Rogelio Singson told the big story that his priority for now is his family. That's why he's not inclined to take back the helm of the Public Works Department. Instead, Singson revealed he is helping organize a public sector audit group under the Management Association of the Philippines to track suspicious flood control projects flagged by President Marcos.
Definitely, there were feelers, but my answer is no, because my priority is my family and their safety.
Singson suggests a moratorium on flood control projects while the review is ongoing. He said this will ensure public funds are not wasted on so-called ghost or half-ghost projects.
Tignan lang kung nasaan yan, mga projects na yan na dinagdag, na insert, so that we know exactly what types of projects these are and whether they make sense. Remember what I have always mentioned in the past. Right project ba yan? No? Yung 5 hours of good governance, is it the right project? Is it the right cost? Is it the right quality?
The former DPWH chief insists he did not allow insertions during his term, stressing that corruption began only after he left office. According to Singson, lawmakers now were able to push through questionable projects because congressional leaders allowed budget insertions to pass.
Hindi naman pwedeng mangyari yung insertions na yan kung hindi pumayag ang leadership of both houses and the Senate.
So how can they conduct an honest-to-goodness investigation that you're saying, looking back, when the leadership is the one that, fingers are pointing to them?
Kaya nga ang appeal ko, and which is the same appeal of the President, time out muna, mahiya naman tayo. Time out muna.
Despite the controversy, Singson said current DPWH Chief Manuel Bonoan still enjoys the trust of President Marcos, which he stresses is critical for whoever leads the department moving forward.
Now, in related news, Senator Ping Lacson has slammed Oriental Mindoro 1st District Representative Arnan Panaligan. That's for allegedly including flood control projects in his report, but denying involvement. In a statement, Lacson questioned why the lawmaker initially claimed the projects as his initiative, only to distance himself amid controversy. The supposedly damaged flood control project was flagged by Lacson during his privileged speech last August 20. Meantime, Lacson has proposed that the Senate adopt the 2026 National Expenditure Program in full to avoid corruption from insertions and realignments. He said the move assumes all items in the NEP were fully vetted by the executive department.
Now, members of the House of Representatives continue to defend themselves from allegations of benefiting from anomalous flood control projects. Some of them have taken offense of Vice President Sara Duterte's pronouncements as well. Find out why in this report.
Some lawmakers pushed back against Vice President Sara Duterte's statement that members of the House of Representatives should also be investigated for alleged irregularities in flood control projects. According to VP Duterte, contractors of these projects are linked to congressmen's offices. Manila 2nd District Representative Rolando Valeriano challenged her to name the lawmakers supposedly involved in anomaly.
Masyadong mababa naman yung tingin ng Vice President sa Kongreso. Siguro dapat niya sagutin saan napunta yung confidential fund, kung bakit masama ang performance o malami ang performance ng DepEd during her time. Wag niya nang idama yung buong Kongreso para pagtakpan po yung ganong mga kapalpakan niya.
For his part, House Committee on Public Accounts Chairman and Bicol Soro Party List Representative Terry Ridon said if the Vice President has information, she can be invited to their hearings.
She's free to attend the House Infracom if related to the flood control projects, infrastructure projects. Kasi mabigat ho na akusasyon yun na pinagpaparti-partihan po yung pondo ng bayan, di ba?
So far, the House has already approved a resolution creating the so-called Infracom to investigate flood control projects. It will be composed of the Committees on Public Accounts, Good Government and Public Accountability, and Public Works and Highways. The investigation is set to begin in the coming weeks. For News 5, I'm Marian Enriquez. We are One News.
And we have another story on Vice President Duterte, her verbal tussle with a palace press officer, and those stories and more still ahead. Afternoon Delight will be right back.
This is AP News Minute. Pallets of aid continued to be airdropped into Gaza City on Thursday. Israel imposed a full blockade in March, then allowed limited aid to resume 2.5 months later. Iran launched its first military exercise since the end of its 12-day war with Israel. A video shared by the Iranian military showed Navy vessels launching missiles at targets in the sea, in the Gulf of Oman, and the Indian Ocean. Thailand's former prime minister arrived at a court in Bangkok on Thursday to give testimony after she was suspended from her role. The Constitutional Court's suspension of Paengtongtarn Shinawatra has raised questions about her family's political comeback. And a young gorilla rescued from a plane's cargo hold is adapting well in Istanbul, and efforts to return him to his natural habitat are underway. The gorilla, now around a year old, was discovered in a box on a Turkish Airlines flight from Nigeria to Thailand in December.
This is AP News Minute. Russia launched a major drone and missile attack on western Ukraine overnight, striking an American-owned electronics plant among other targets and injecting further uncertainty into the U.S.-led efforts to end the war. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he will give final approval for a takeover of Gaza City while restarting negotiations with Hamas aimed at returning all of Israel's remaining hostages. The wide-scale operation could start within days after Netanyahu meets with senior security officials. Hurricane Aaron battered North Carolina's Outer Banks with strong winds and waves that flooded part of the main highway and surged under beachfront homes. Forecasters say Aaron will slowly weaken over the next few days while turning farther out to sea. The Cheetah Conservation Fund says 10 cubs held in captivity since birth and destined for international wildlife trade are in stable condition after being rescued in Somaliland.
Welcome back this afternoon, the Light on One News. I'm Denise Tan.
And I'm Pauline Verzosa. Thanks for staying with us.
Now, Vice President Sara Duterte hit back at Palace Press Officer Claire Castro, who called her performance as Education Secretary a complete failure. The details in this report.
Nagre-reflect lamang na bilang siya ay naging DepEd Secretary ay a complete failure.
This is the palace's response to Vice President Sara Duterte's claim that the Philippines' education system is being left behind by other countries. In an interview on the Facebook page Alvin and Tourism, the Vice President asked how she could be labeled a failure when the President himself tried to stop her resignation from DepEd and even offered her another government post.
Indihan saan nanggagaling yung total failure ako as a Department of Education Secretary. Kasi iba yung actions ni BBM noong ako ay nag-tender ng resignation. Inofera niya ako, may gusto ka ba na posisyon? Sabi ko, wala akong gustong posisyon. Tapos ang sunod niyang sinabi sa akin, pwede ka bang tumulong sa midterm elections para sa mga senators? So, hindi yun actions ng taong tumitingin as failure ako. Action yun ng taong tumitingin na kailangan niya yung trabaho ko.
Duterte also alleged that Marcos smelled of alcohol when they spoke at the palace on June 19, 2024. According to the Vice President, this incident sealed her decision to step down from the Marcos cabinet.
Pag-alis ko, nagbeso-beso siya sa akin. This was 10:25 or 10:30 in the morning. Amoy alak siya. At kung ako ang pahulain, kung ano yung alak na yon, whiskey. Doon na-confirm yung decision ko na mag-resign. So, hindi ako ang failure. Siguro, ang failure is yung 10:30 pa lang ng umaga, amoy alak ka na.
Meanwhile, Castro did not directly address the alcohol allegation but insisted that the Vice President's claim have no basis and were driven by what she called a self-ambition to undermine the President. Despite the criticism, VP Sara stood by her remarks, acknowledging that the Philippines' education system still has a long way to go.
We are truly behind sa education system natin. That is a fact of the Philippines.
Now let's circle back to one of our top stories. This Friday, more flood control projects in Bulacan and Mindoro were found declared complete, but with nothing built on the ground. News 5 correspondent Mon Gualvez has this report.
May sandbag at nakausli pa ang mga bakal sa hindi natapos sa concrete slope revetment na ito sa barangay Bulihan sa Malolos, Bulacan. Base sa sumbong sa Pangulo website, dapat ay noong September 2024 pa nakumpleto ang proyektong nagkakahalaga ng 62.7 million pesos. Kaya dismayado ang mga residente, lalo't araw-araw silang binabaka.
Siyempre, dapat madali, mabilis. Para hindi na kami nalulubog dito. Ganyan, laging high tide, laging lubog to.
Doon lang sa bungad yung may flood control. Paano naman po yung nandito sa gawing gitna? Paano po dito sa bahayan?
Isa lang ito sa 14 na flood control project sa Bulacan na hawak ng Sims Trading Construction. Ang address ng Sims nasa isang subdivision at walang senyales na isa itong opisina. May isa pang incomplete project sa Barangay Canalate sa Malolos. Nagkakahalaga rin ang proyektong ito ng 62.7 million pesos at nakasaad na complete project noong Setyembre ng nakaraang taon. Ayon kay Bulacan Governor Daniel Fernando, sa Martes ay magsasalita ang lahat ng mayor sa probinsya patungkol sa flood control projects. Ito naman ang lugar sa Nauhan Oriental Mindoro na sinabi ni Senador Ping Lacson na mayroong ghost flood control project. Base sa sumbong sa Pangulo website, halos 193 million pesos ang kontrata sa paggawa ng road dike sa tabi ng Panggalaan River sa Sitio Dike na natapos noong 2024. Pero giit ng kapitan ng barangay,
yan po, kahit isa pong project na mega dike, wala po kayong makikita. Ay ako po, 50 years na dito na nakatira. Ay wala po, ito po Sitio Dike. Wala po kayong makita for year yata po ng 2024.
tuwing malakas ang buhos ng ulan, madalas umaapoy itong Panggalaan River na nilalakaran ko. Umabot pa nga raw ng mahigit 10 talampakan yung taas ng tubig. Kaya yung matagal na nilang hinihiling na poprotekta sana sa kanilang dike na pinondohan naman, kahit sa kalumingong parte ng ilog, hanggang ngayon, wala namang matagpuan. Nitong Hulyo lang, hindi na makita ang daan sa Barangay Apitong dahil sa taas ng baha sa lugar. Sabi ng Oriental Mindoro Provincial Government, may 2 proyekto pang nakasad sa General Appropriations Act na flood control programs sa pareho pa ring barangay noong 2024. Ang kabuang halaga niyan, mahigit ₱250 bilyong. Habang sa taong 2025, may 3 proyekto uling nakasad sa GAA sa Barangay Apitong. Tigta ₱300 milyong yan na hinati-hati sa upstream at downstream ng ilog na may magkakaibang kontratista. 2 naman dyan ang sinimulan ng gawin itong Mayo. Isiniwalat din ni Governor Bons Dolor na mahigit doble ang nalalagay na pondo sa General Appropriations Act mula sa inaprobahang National Expenditures Program para sa flood control projects ng probinsya.
Kasi in between lagi may ini-insert billions of pesos and yet walang maparusahan. Walang umaamin na nagkasala.
Sa gitna ng mga lumalabas na anomalya sa DPWH flood control projects, lumulutang ang pangalan ni dating Secretary Rogelio Singson na ipapalit umano sa kasalukuyang kalihim ng ahensya. Sagot naman dyan ni Singson,
Secretary, the billion-peso question is, you confess that there have been feelers sent to you. So will you accept or not?
Definitely, there were feelers, but my answer is no because my priority is my family and their safety.
Kwento niya sa The Big Story ng One News, nung siya ang DPWH Secretary sa ilalim ng Aquino Administration, hindi siya pumayag ng insertion sa budget.
Sabi ko sa congressman, ito yung mga projects na pwede lang. Mag-usap tayo, isa-isang congressman na gusto makipag-usap, nag-agree kami. Magsingit kayo dyan ng ibang proyekto outside of this, kahit ilagay nyo dyan, hindi ko pagagawa.
Mungkay niya sa pamahalaan, suspendihin muna ang lahat ng flood control projects habang umuusad ng investigasyon. Ang COMELEC naman, iniimbestigahan ang 4 na senatorial bets noong 2022 na may donasyon mula sa kontraktor. Susulatan daw nila mga kontraktor na ito para hingan ng paliwanag.
Metro Manila was caught off guard again by the sudden rains and of course resulting floods this morning. And now let's get the latest on the ground from Mobile Journal Merimon Reyes. Good afternoon, Merimon. Nako, kitang-kita na yung baha dyan sa likuran mo. Kamusta naman ang sitwasyon dyan? Where are you exactly?
Magandang hapon, Pauline and Denise. Nakatayo tayo sa Mercedes Street along Ayala Boulevard kung saan hindi lang tubig baha ang pinakakalaban dito ng mga commuter at motorista, kundi yung traffic mismo. Kasi halimbawa dito, marami na tayong nakikita yung ilang mga sasakyan, yung mga ito tulad itong mga forward na mga truck, sinusuong pa nila yung baha. Pero yung ilang mga motorista natin, ang bitbit nila mismo, bisikleta o kaya naman ay motor, nilalakad na lang nila kasi nga ang battery ng kanilang mga motor nasa may ibabang bahagi. Kaya hindi raw nila sinusugal na malubog pa dito sa baha. Nandito sa kabilang side ang Ayala Bridge. Nandito sa side kanan ko mismo, yung papuntang City Hall, kung saan doon din mismo, gutter deep na rin yung taas ng tubig baha. Paglumpas naman ng Ayala Bridge mismo, papuntang Menjola, humuhupa ang tubig baha, pero ang sasalubong naman sa'yo doon, baha naman ng mga sasakyang nais pumunta sa kanilang mga tirahan. Kasi as of 12 o'clock in the afternoon din, o kaya ngayong tanghali, nagsuspende na rin ng klase ang government offices, kasabay yan ng public and private schools na suspension din ng kanilang pagpasok. At sa pagmamonitor din natin, mula rin sa impormasyon naman na binigay ng Manila DRMO, knee-deep na taas na ng tuhod ang PNU TAV. Mula naman sa Padre Paura hanggang doon sa intersection, abot tuhod na rin ang taas ng tubig baha. Mula PNU pa Ayala, taas na rin ang tuhod ang tubig baha. Tire level naman Manila City Hall hanggang San Marcelino, kalahati naman ang taas ng gulong ang TAV Padre Paura. At mula Villegas hanggang City Hall ay abot na rin ng tubig, abot tuhod na rin ang tubig baha. Samantala, ang Manila DRMO ay nagbigay na rin ng kanilang rescue operations at yung mga ruta nito ay mula Quirino Avenue hanggang Manila City Hall. Pero sa paglilibot nga natin, kahit tayo, ang sinakyan natin ay motor papunta dito, hindi na rin tayo nakalagpas dito mismo sa Ayala Boulevard. Ladies.
Oo, Mary Mon, naging mabilis din ba yung pagtaas ng baha? Kasi alam naman, ilang oras pa lang naman yung ulan, pero ganyan na, kataas yung baha, gutter deep, yung sa iba, knee deep pa.
Oo, tama yan. Kasi doon din mismo sa mga update na binibigay din ng Manila DRMO, pati ng Manila PIO, umaga pa lang sa kanilang paglilibot, wala pang inaabot ng tanghali, nararamdaman na yung taas ng tubig baha. Yun nga lang, ilang mga flood-prone areas dito, halimbawa doon sa may Arangke Market, magandang ibinalita nila na wala pa, hindi pa bumabaha sa lugar na yon. Sa Espanya Boulevard, hindi rin naman. So far, pinakanilulubog ngayon ng baha dito. Ito nga Ayala Boulevard, mula papuntang City Hall, tsaka sa kahabaan din ng Taft Avenue. Pero so far, patuloy rin naman yung rescue operations na ginagawa ng Manila DRMO.
Mary Mon, yung Taft, mukhang talagang buong stretch nito, baha na. Ano yung alternate routes ngayon na dinadaanan ng mga commuters, tsaka yung mga gumagamit ng what do you call this, public transportation? Ano mga options sila? Kanina may pinakita tayo, parang may mga naka-raft na din, ano?
Denise, halimbawa nung papunta dito mismo sa Ayala Bridge, yung ibang mga motorista hindi na masyado makakadaan sa Nagtahan kasi nga yung mga lugar na yon ay hindi man binabaha pero tinatraffic naman ng sobra. So yung iba ang nagiging ruta, umiikot sila sa may likod pa Malacanang, pero nagiging mahigpit na rin yung nagbabantay doon na security officers kasi nararamdaman nga raw nila na posibleng yung iba hahanap ng alternative routes. Samantala dito naman sa kahabaan ng Taft Avenue, ay tulad nila, nahihirapan silang maglakad. Ingat po kayo. Tapos saan pa po kayo galing?
Sa Tondo.
Sa Tondo, wala po ba kayo masakyan? O kumusta po?
May motor naman kami.
May baha po ba doon sa pinanggalingan niyo po?
Meron.
Ingat po, ma'am, ingat po.
Nako, Mary Mon, pahirapan, talagang bahang-baha na, lahat nahihirapan. Pero Mary Mon, kamusta yung basura? Because I remember, nung Krising, pati yung tinamaan yung Manila City ng Habagat, basura din talaga yung naging problema. In fact, di ba sa mga water pumping station, napakaraming basura na nakita, may ref pa nga, may sofa pa daw. And yun talaga yung naging problema kung bakit nahirapan mahupa yung baha.
Sakto po, Lynn, kasi kanina nung pagbaba natin dito, nakasalubong natin mismo yung isang truck ng Manila Public Works kung saan nakita natin yung ilang mga cleaners nila doon. Nakita natin may mga nakaimbak ng mga basura sa truck. So far sa nakita rin natin, ang binigay rin na anunsya dito ni Manila Mayor Isko Moreno, patuloy sila ngayon na nagmi-meeting para raw sa iba pang kakailanganing reinforcement. Lalong-lalo na kapag sa oras na humupa itong tubig baha, lalong sasalubong naman ang mga basura. Sa dinaanan natin doon, bandang Nagtahan sa may Pamenjola, so far wala tayong nakitang presensya ng mga basura. Pero ang sinasabi sa atin ng mga lokal na nakausap natin, matik daw kung saan daw aagos itong tubig baha, lalo-lalo na daw sa mga kanal, sa mga estero. Pag humupa raw, magsisisulputan ang basura.
Mm-hmm. Mary Mon, lihis akong konti. Ano yung balita with the medication, yung doxycycline? Because I remember nung a few weeks ago, parang ang sinasabi nila, more than it being a cure, medyo preventive measure na, nauunahan na nila at kumbaga magbabahay-bahay na sila ng pag-distribute para nga wala nang excuse yung ating mga kababayan na hindi nakabili o walang reseta.
Tama, Denise, nung bagyong Krising din, Nung araw din mismo na yon, naka-receive din ang tanggapan nila ni Manila Mayor Isko Moreno ng daan-daang libo na mga doxycycline, even yung mga paracetamol in tablet at in syrup. Ngayon din ang ginagawa ng Manila Health Department kapag ganito na may pagtaas ng tubig baha, may pagbuhos ng mabigat na pagbuhos ng ulan o kaya naman ay pagbagyo, is nagsisettle agad yung mga medical teams at response teams ng Manila Health Department sa iba't ibang mga barangay health centers. At ang ginagawa rin nila dito, bukod sa abangan nila yung mga posibleng kaso ng may mga mabububog yung paa, kakakailanganin daw nilang magbigay din nitong ang doxycycline. At pinakatinitingnan din natin dito sa mga susunod na oras, kung magiging sapat ba yung libo-libong supply na binigay noong lumipas na linggo. Kasi so far dun sa pinuntahan natin bandang Santa Mesa nung lumipas na habagat, so far sapat naman daw sa kanila, lalo pa nagkaroon ng pagdagdag. Pero hindi pa natin alam sa ngayon, Denise, kung kakayanin pa ng supply na doxycycline.
Okay, thank you very much for that update. That was mobile journalist Merimon Reyes reporting live from Manila. In other news, COMELEC Chairman George Garcia says the poll body received reports linking flood control contractors to campaign donations in the 2022 elections. Garcia told One News at Storycon that at least 4 senatorial candidates were mentioned in the reports. Garcia added the poll body is also determining if liability could extend to the candidates who received the donations. Under Section 95 of the Omnibus Election Code, candidates and parties are barred from accepting donations from any person or company with government contracts.
Meron po sa amin nag-tip sa Bulacan. So sabi, tingnan namin, incidentally, yun yung maging mainit na issue ngayon doon sa bandang area na Bulacan. So we will have to write a letter addressed, for example, to the contractor for the contractors to explain their side naman in case we will confirm that indeed these individuals are contractors or yung company mismo or companies mismo nila ang nagbigay, hindi lang pala yung individual.
Here now is a quick rundown of more stories on One News. The Armed Forces of the Philippines reports an increase in Chinese activities in Ayungin Shoal, including maneuvers and water cannon drills by Coast Guard vessels. 5 CCG ships, 11 fast boats and RHIBs, and 9 maritime militia vessels were reportedly deployed by Beijing, with some fast boats armed with heavy weapons. Aerial assets were also spotted, including a helicopter and an unmanned drone. Ayungin Shoal lies within the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone. The NDRRMC has raised its alert status to blue due to Tropical Depression Isang. The council said the move aims to monitor the weather system, consolidate reports, and ensure coordination with agencies. Under blue alert, key personnel from the Office of Civil Defense and duty officers are required to report to the Operations Center. And oil prices are expected to increase next week. Gasoline is seen to become more expensive by 50 centavos per liter, diesel by 40 centavos, and kerosene by 10 centavos. The potential hike is attributed to the decline in the oil stock of the United States and ongoing Iran and Israel conflict.
We also give you a quick look at stories from our partners, the Philippine Star and Business World. The Philippine Star is reporting about assurance from the Department of Migrant Workers that assistance will be extended to 6 OFWs earlier arrested in Hong Kong. The Filipino workers were apprehended last August 17 during an operation by the Hong Kong Immigration Department. And on Business World, one headline reads, infrastructure spending rebounds in June. According to the Department of Budget and Management, state spending on infrastructure bounced back in June. That's after disbursements for public works projects resumed after the election ban was lifted in early May. For more details of these stories, you can visit the social media pages of the Philippine Star and Business World. Do check out as well the social media platforms of One News PH for the very latest news.
Again, this is After the Light on One News. We just need to pause for another break. We'll be right back.
August 22, 2005, the last Jewish settlers leave the Gaza Strip. That happens nearly 40 years after Israel captures the territory during the Six-Day War. The Israeli withdrawal makes way for Palestinian control in Gaza. 1996. In Washington, President Bill Clinton signs welfare reform into law.
Today we are ending welfare as we know it. But I hope this day will be remembered not for what it ended, but for what it began.
The measure ends guaranteed cash payments to America's poor and demands work from its recipients. 1989. Huey Newton, co-founder of the 60s militant group, the Black Panthers, is shot to death by a drug dealer in Oakland, California. Newton, who struggled with drug addiction, was 47 years old. 1920. Ray Bradbury, the science fiction author whose works include Fahrenheit 451, is born in Waukegan, Illinois. And 1963. Singer-songwriter Tori Amos is born in Newton, North Carolina. Today in history, August 22nd, Sophia Manos, The Associated Press.
also watching Afternoon Delight, thank you for staying with us. And we have come to that part of the program kung saan meron na naman tayong feature delight of the day. At sumasabay sa panahon, Tita Pawi, ha?
Yes!
Meron tayong bulalo.
Bulalo, napakasarap naman.
Mahilig ka ba sa bulalo?
Mahilig ako sa bulalo, oo, yung sabaw. Kahit yung mga libre lang na sabaw sa mga restaurant,
Oo naman,
laging bulalo.
Oo.
Love na love ko yan.
Oy, very healthy tong
Bakit nga ba bulalo? Dahil malamig?
Oo,
Dahil sa panahon?
feeling ko dahil sa panahon. Kahapon, naka-crispy pa ata kami. Dahil kay Sir Manny mo gato.
Daya naman, kung kailan nandito ako, parang...
Late ka ng isang araw. Oo. So, bulalo. Kasi, ikaw ba pag kumakain ng bulalo, meron pa ng mga, ano ba yung hinahalo sa bulalo? Hindi kasi ako patis?
Ay, oo, patis. Yes, patis. Bagay rin ang
natitikman ko
patis.
muna.
Ang gusto ko rin sa bulalo, sobrang tender ng beef. Diba? Sobrang lambot. Yung sabaw din niya.
Tsaka full meal talaga. Even without the rice. Pero syempre, mas masarap yan may kanin. Anong verdict mo?
Masarap?
Masarap.
Parang masarap din magtagaytay.
Oo
Diba yung
nga.
bulalo doon? Masarap talaga.
Sige, pero habang ine-enjoy natin yan, ito daanan na natin ang ating mga storya on social media. First up, of course, mainit na usapan ito, which was already addressed by the people involved. Pasig City Mayor Vico Soto called out interviews of his midterm elections opponent Sara Diskaya and her husband Curly. Journalists Corina Sanchez and Julius Babaw did the interview. So, Julius Babaw has denied receiving 10 million pesos from the Diskaya interview, according to PEP. And broadcaster Corina Sanchez has also addressed the allegation netizens were able to do screenshots of the Philippine Star report, which cannot be accessed at the moment. Pero meron tayo nung
Updated.
official statement.
So this is the official statement of Corina interviews ng Victory 8 Media, and they maintained that hindi daw totoong nakatanggap sila ng 10 million, and they also maintained that the purpose of the vlog was just a lifestyle interview. Parang hina-highlight daw nila yung success story nung personality. In this case, si Sara Diskaya nga.
But also giving several examples kung sino yung mga in-interview nila in the past. May mga pinangalanan pa related to Mayor Vico Soto. Ang nakalagay dyan, including your uncle, si Senator Tito Soto, of course, and cousins Gian and MTRCB Chief Lala Soto.
So for them, sa side nga ni Ms. Corina Sanchez, ng kanyang team, hindi naman, they're not in the business of doing puff or vanity pieces or yung mga hit pieces, no bashing daw, ganyan. It's more for public interest. Gusto lang nila i-highlight yung storya nila, rags to riches life story. And they actually even reached out daw sa kampo ni Mayor Vico Soto, even informed his mother, Ms. Connie Reyes, about this feature story on the Diskayas. Pero lagi din daw nag-decline ng interview si Mayor Vico. Alam naman natin sila yung nagharap talaga for the mayoral seat sa Pasig nitong midterm elections at naging mainit. But also, Julius Babaw giving a statement, denying that he received 10 million pesos. So, ganun din yung kanyang panig na it was done naman daw kasi on his vlog. And
it was more of a rags to riches story din, feature.
Alam naman natin kasi 'di ba sa YouTube, maraming ganung types of vlogs na feature mo yung kwento, papakita mo yung bahay mo, house tour mo, tapos magi-interview ko na rin paano mo ba nakuha lahat ng to. But ang pino-point out ni Mayor Vico Soto, he called them out because these personalities are broadcast journalists, and alam naman natin in journalism, there are always very high standards, ethics. In fact, di ba, meron yan yung code of ethics sa mga journalist. Nung college ako, ikaw rin ba, Tita Denise? Parang yun, aaralin mo yun eh.
But again, mahirap magsalita. Mahirap because wala namang patunay, di ba? It's not concrete, so mahirap mag-assume. Tignan na lang natin how this will all unfold. But again, journalists Corina Sanchez and Julius Babaw has again vehemently denied
receiving
10
million pesos.
10 million
ganun kalaki daw kasi yung ina-allege ni Mayor Vico Soto na natanggap daw nitong broadcast personalities, broadcast journalists. So both sides here, tingnan natin anong mangyayari. But yun, so it begs a question also can you separate ba talaga yung personality mo, yung kung sino ka sa trabaho dun sa vlog mo. Even if, let's say, that's for your vlog, and it will showcase something, but you're known to be a respected journalist in news na kailangan unbiased ka. Kailangan, di ba, ang no-no talaga in journalism is yung tumanggap.
That's right.
But then also, this is for vlogging, na alam natin a lot of journalists have also penetrated that industry as well.
But we also have to remember, everything talaga with due diligence. So mahirap lang din talaga mag-announce ng certain infos online dahil di natin alam where that will lead. Kung ano yung magiging negative effects or yung mga consequences with any post that you do or you make online. Okay.
Okay, sige, move on naman tayo to another story. The Commission sa Wikang Filipino is urging the government to prioritize programs that will help promote and develop our national language. Para bigyan ng mukha ang balita, Mobile Journal, Amy Atienza.
Ngayong buwan ng wika, bida ang wikang Filipino. Pero alam nyo ba na ang Komisyon sa Wikang Filipino bumuo ng tahanan upang maipakilala ang mga wikang tila nalilimutan na ng karamihan? Ang Bahay Wika ay isang proyekto ng KWF kung saan sinasanay ang mga bata sa paggamit ng wikang Filipino sa pamamagitan ng libreng lectures at webinars na ipakikilala ang iba't ibang wika sa bansa. Halimbawa nito ay ang Bahay Wika for Aita Magbukon. Mahalaga raw ang proyektong ito upang higit pang makilala at hindi tuluyang mamatay ang wikang bahagi na ng ating kultura.
Inalagay po sila sa isang bahay, kung saan sila ay sinasanay na gamitin ng wika upang sa pag-uwi nila sa bahay ay gamit pa rin nila ito. Alam nyo kasi namamatay po ang wika kapag ang mga bata ay hindi na marunong magsalita nung wika na gamit ng matatanda.
Ang kaso nga lang, hirap pa rin sa pondo ang ahensya, kaya't bilang pa lang ang mga bahay wika na naitatag sa bansa. Kaya naman nais ni Atty. Marites Barrios Taran bilang bagong tagapangulo ng KWF na makipag-ugnayan pa sa mga kinauukulan ng matutukan pa ito.
Ngunit sa ilalim ng aking pamumuno ay nais kong mas isulong ito sa pamamagitan ng pakikipag-ugnayan, pakikipag-usap sa mga lokal na pamahalaan upang kami ay kanilang tulungan sa pagpupondo.
Bukod pa riyan, nakita rin daw ng KWF na hindi lamang pondo ng ahensya ang problema, kundi pati na rin pondo ng mga nais sumali sa nasabing programa.
Ito ay aming pinapakiusap sa Kongreso, nakikipag-ugnayan po kami, lalong-lalo na po sa mga kasama natin na nagmamahal sa edukasyon, nagmamahal sa wika, na tulungan po nila kami na ibalik ang sistemang ito.
Mobile journalist Amy Atienza po, hatid ang mukha ng balita.
And from viral TikTokers to the small screen, the Almeda twins, Kitty and Kakay, are now venturing into acting. They now star in Signal Play's new microdrama series, Ang Prinsesa at ang Pureza. And who better to talk about that than the stars themselves? We have Kakay and Kitty Almeda. Ladies, welcome to Afternoon Delight.
Hi! So gorgeous naman talaga itong magkambal na ito. Oo. So you guys started in TikTok?
Yes.
And now you're into acting?
Yes.
How did that transition happen?
Well, parang bata pa lang po kami talaga. We really wanted to act na. And parang before we wanted to, we've been doing commercials din. Pero konti lang naman po. Kaso, nag-focus po kasi kami sa school, tapos mag-break po ulit, ganun. And then, ayun, we've been given a chance to act. So, thanks,
And it's our first ever lead and series po.
Yes, congratulations.
Sige, pakita lang. Sino si Kakay ulit? Para alam nila kung sino. Ayan, si Kakay and then si Kitty. Okay, so I wanted to know, syempre, when you were starting out sa TikTok, ano ba yung content nyo nung una? Was it more parang instructional videos, dancing? Ano ba mga laman?
Well, it started dancing na po talaga. And then, one time po, nakaisip kami na parang, kasi mahilig po kami mag-gym because of Daddy.
Oo, ito yung video nyo.
Yes
Sa
po.
treadmill.
Yes. And then yun, parang napasayaw lang kami isang beses and then sabi natin, parang maganda magsayaw here sa treadmill. And doon na po siya nag-boom. And tuloy-tuloy. So, dancing po talaga all throughout.
O, kamusta naman yung relationship, of course, kasi syempre ito, yung video na ipinapakita natin, more of choreograph lang yung iniintindi nyo. Ngayon, syempre mas madami ng, I guess, minamemorize, madami ng, how do you help each other out?
Lagi lang po kaming if ever, katulad nun kasi it's our first ever like serious and lead po. So parang medyo nanibago talaga kami sa acting, and also it's a comedy pa. So super ibang-iba. And then sometimes, kasi may iba rin po siyang show. So parang if ever free siya, tapos ako yung parang nagbabatuhan kami ng lines. Yes po. So parang we help each other, maganda ba yung gantong acting ko or mas maganda ba yung ganon? So parang nagtutulungan po kami.
Oo. So okay, itong ang prinsesa at ang pureza, tell us about your characters.
sobrang ibang-iba sa totoong ako.
Really?
Yes, it's kind of like medyo malandi siya.
Okay.
And poor po ako dito, and
So, ikaw si Pureza?
Yes po, nangangarap na magkaroon ng marangyang buhay. And until I met her. Yes, which is yung role ko naman po dito is very mayaman na sosyal na pabebe. Medyo, hi!
Sweet girl.
Sweet girl, ganan ang atake niya. Pero, yun nga po kasi she wanted to switch life with, nung nakita niya po, pero hindi po sila magkakilala pa. Parang accidentally nagkakita sila. Yeah.
Okay,
You wanted to switch with her. Pero ikaw ba gusto mo din ma-experience?
No, actually
or?
po, yung character ko po, as princess, yung gusto mag-switch sa life.
Baliktad.
Parang bigla nagulat lang ako, bigla lang siyang lumitaw. Yes. Kung bakit kailangan yung abang at panoorin, syempre.
Kayo ba namili kung sino yung character na gaganapin nyo?
Well, at first po kasi talaga, yung character ko, dapat siya yung gaganap.
Oo.
Kasi nung nag-look test po kami, siya talaga yung gumanap nun. But then, nag-ask ako sa kanya kasi it's the same, parang yung mga taping days, nag-overlap dun sa taping niya sa ibang show. So sabi ko, kaya mo ba? Sabi ko, Kitty, pwedeng ikaw na, hindi ko na kasi kaya. Kasi madami pong sauluhin din. And then sabi ko, baka may hindi ko magampanan ng ayos po yung role. And I don't want to commit pag alam kong hindi ko po kaya.
Meron bang challenges, yung certain rules? I know
Super. Kasi po, hindi rin po kami pasyadong nag-acting workshop. Like, grabe itong series din na to. Sobrang dami kong pinagdaanan. Sobrang lawak niya kasi ang daming emotions na nangyayari.
Kailangan malalim yung hugot mo talaga.
Opo. Yung twist niya kasi it's a comedy pero may drama. Like, halo-halo siya. And then parang ngayon na lang kami ulit napunta sa ganito. Sobrang kaba, tapos parang nanibago talaga ako, and ayun, I tried to push past my limit.
Yes.
Well, syempre with the help of Direct Bobby and everyone and the staffs po, kasi it's hard nga po sa amin dahil ngayon na lang po ulit kami nagsimula sa acting ulit. Parang nag-back to zero. So, and super introvert kasi kami in person. So, yung character ko, sobrang all out siya.
You had to step out of your comfort zone. Alright, but ladies, please invite our viewers, ang Prinsesa at ang Pureza. Where can they watch it? Kailan?
Hey guys, so ang Prinsesa at ang Pureza is now streaming on Signal Play Microdrama. Yes, you can download the app. Just go to the Signal Play's Facebook page to get the download link. And also, I'll be starring here, me, Kitty, and Kakai, with our co-actors, Danny Porter, Joao Constancia, and Ellison De Jos.
Alright! Thank you so much, girls!
Thank you for having us.
Yes, ayan. Meron na kaming papanoorin this weekend.
Again, that was Kakay and Kitty Almeda, the stars of Ang Prinsesa at Ang Pureza. Thank you, girls.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alright, and that's all the time that we have for this Friday. Thanks so much for watching Afternoon Delight. Sitting in for Louie De Vera, ako po si Pauline Perzosa. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Join us again on Monday at 2 p.m. I'm Denise Tan. Have a delightful afternoon.
Okay.